Right guys, so welcome. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to actually eat healthy. Now, this topic is something that I feel so bad for the average person on, as the average person knows next to nothing about this subject, right? And I feel like it's got the most bullshit and noise surrounding it. It's so fucking difficult. I think it's done on purpose. There's so much information and they're all coming from different directions where you've got vegan or carnivore or like paleo or eating like fish or something. I don't know, what's that, pescatarian? Right, let me just cut through all the noise, break it down for you, and give you a simple structure to actually eat healthy, because there are levels to it. There's levels of everything in my videos, aren't there? There's levels to it, but I'll take you to the stage where you're going to get 80 to 90% of all the benefits from eating healthy. And to take it further than that, you've got to go to some extremes that you don't have to worry about, okay? So number one, destroy myths. There are loads of different myths out there, and the most common ones I see would be people's belief on fat, cholesterol, salads, and the food pyramid. Right, so let me just destroy these myths for you. There is nothing wrong with cholesterol. Yes, I said it. Listen, there is nothing wrong with cholesterol. There's nothing wrong with high cholesterol. There's nothing wrong with eating foods that contain a lot of cholesterol, okay? Completely destroy that from your brain. Same with fat. There's nothing wrong with fat. In fact, fat is incredibly good for you and essential. You need lots of fat, okay? You want a high fat diet. Forget this low fat bullshit, okay? You can go deep into the rabbit hole where, excuse me, something in my eye. Sorry. You can go deep into the rabbit hole, right? How like these scientists were paid off by Kellogg's to promote bullshit studies in the 1970s, yada yada. Anyway, stuff that is low fat, like low fat yogurts or like low fat cheese, all that low fat shit, don't eat it. It's bad for you. The other one would be like salads. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that salads are bad for you. I'm just going to say it's really common that you'll see people go, I want to start eating healthy again. And they just start eating lots of salad. And it's like, mate, you're not a rabbit. Stop eating rabbit food, okay? There's nothing wrong with a few vegetables that are in a salad. But like, mate, it's shit. No one wants to eat a salad, bro. You're just eating fucking leaves. Anyway, the other one would be the food pyramid. Now, if you have seen the recent shit coming out of America, you will have seen that they've actually reversed the food pyramid, okay? The old one basically flipped on its head. That's the new food pyramid, because that's how you're supposed to fucking eat, right? The genuine food pyramid that I was taught in school not only makes you sick, but is incredibly bad for you and just wrong, okay? So this leads me on to the thing that is the real problem. The number one enemy is sugar, okay? The number one thing you're eating, the problem in your diet is sugar, okay? That's your public enemy number one, okay? Not fat, nothing wrong with fat. And for some people, salt. Nothing wrong with salt. It's an essential nutrient. You die without it, okay? Eat salt, eat fat, don't eat sugar, okay? Now, the sugar comes in lots of other forms, but we'll get into that in a minute. The other problems, okay? These are your main problems that are fucking up your diet and making you unhealthy that you're eating, okay? So these are the things that you want to cut out, okay? So the number one, I'll start off with seed oils, okay? Or vegetable oils, yeah? So like your cooking oils, your fats that you cook in. The number two would be processed bullshit. Like, I don't eat any of that stuff. Like, Nature Valleys, like those granola bars and like those different weird kind of high protein Oreos and weird cookies and sweets and all this shit. It's not real food, is it? So like a Pop-Tart, like, no, stop eating that. The other one again would be protein bollocks. You'll see a lot of stuff saying like high protein. Now, if you see some cheese saying high protein, I mean, right, that's fine. But like, if you see like some Oreo chocolate saying high protein. Recently, I just completed something called Tough Mudder, right? I'll see if I can show a clip of it on screen. There were these food stands, right? Like resting stations where they give you water, and they would give you these like grenade sugary snacks. I've never had them before. They were really nice. They were literally chocolate, right? But they were marketed as like 20 grams of protein, high protein. And I was like, what is this bullshit? It's just chocolate. Like, what? Anyway, this leads me on to what to do next, okay? The structure around your plates. I've just told you what to not eat. So I've just told you what to cut out, what to avoid, and what to not eat, right? What I'll say next is what to eat, what to do, and how to progressively overload your way into a good healthy diet. Because one thing I can say is I didn't click my fingers and have a really good diet like I do now overnight. It took time. And I want you to know that that's okay. For me, it took me like 18 months of just progressively overloaded, learning new things, and slowly chipping away at getting a better diet over time. As you'll start to crave the things that I'll talk about in this video, you'll become naturally craving. You'll start to naturally crave, the foods that are actually good for you once you cut out the processed bullshit, right? That's really addictive. So let's say you have a plate. How to structure that plate? You want to center your meals around meat, okay? Animal products. The things that are actually good for you are meat, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. You want to center your meals around them, okay? But mainly meat, and specifically fatty meats. So a good example will be beef. Sometimes lamb, but I feel like lamb is kind of one size fits all. When you go to buy some beef, you have the multiple different percentages of fats, right? Now, for decades, everyone's thought that 25% fat is the one that's the least healthy. Wrong. That is the most healthy, okay? The higher the fat content in the meat, the better. So let's say you get 5% fat meat, just bump it up a bit. Bump it up to 12, 15. I like 25% fat because I'm just like that. I love my burgers. If that's not what you like, that's fine, okay? You don't have to eat that way. You can eat the 15% fat one. Another good method would be, chicken. Most people get chicken thighs and or chicken breasts, right? Just get chicken, but with skin on, right? Because the fat's got loads of skin in it, and in that skin there's tons of nutrients, right? Another popular one would be avocado. That's probably the only one that everyone gets right. Everyone knows that avocados are actually good for you. So you can have meals with, like, let's say a breakfast, right? You could have some eggs, some avocado, and some toast. All equally weighted, okay? Because the problem with the food pyramid is they've said that you should have like 50 to 60% of your plate as carbs. Bollocks, get rid of that. That's a silly idea. Carbs are literally just fuel, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. They're just fuel. Think of it like a car. It's just petrol. You don't need an excess of petrol, because if you have an excess of petrol in your car, it just flows out the tank. For us, we get fat, right? That's not what you want. So that'll be the main thing, is dialing back on carbs and having it more of like, let's say you have it's a third of your plate. I'd say that's a good goal to aim for, right? You don't have to get super autistic and go, right, I have 100 grams of this, give me 33. Forget that. Just look at it and go, let's say you're having chicken, broccoli and rice, okay? Before, you might be having like a mountain of rice and you've layered some chicken and some broccoli on top of it. No. On your plate, have chicken, 1/3 up to even half, broccoli, and a little bit of rice. Because, excuse me, you don't need mass amounts of excess of carbs because that's what's making you sick. Remember, I said earlier, public enemy number one is sugar. In your heads, no sugar, okay? You just want to eat the amount you need, and that's it. Now, this one I'd say is quite low-hanging fruit, okay? This one's quite easy to swap. Is when you're cooking, a lot of people cook with sunflower oil or vegetable oil, right? Cut them out. Just swap to extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, ghee, or proper butter. The butter that's not spreadable in that plastic tub, the brick, okay? So, to conclude, I'll just say, take this one step at a time. You have your whole life, okay? You don't have to be perfect overnight. Just take your time with it, slowly getting better. As I said earlier, you'll start to crave the foods you actually not enjoy, but feel healthy and make you feel enjoyment eating them rather than are pleasurable to eat, okay? But that comes with time, okay? The less and less you eat chocolate and ice cream, the more and more you're going to crave chicken, beef, broccoli, healthy foods, okay? Take care, guys.